Okay, so this is kind of, I guess, a sad-ish video because it's kind of like, where the hell is Mermaze Mermaids? I get that, like, the TV show, like, we got through season one, we had season one, and they're probably taking, like, maybe a little bit of a break because, they ended season one however long ago. And then, they probably we're like, okay, we can chill for a bit because, whatever, we don't need to post whatever stuff on YouTube now because, we did season one, we finished that, and then, they're gonna make season two, and, they did end off on a cliffhanger in season one, so it's not like they were, just gonna end it there and be done with the TV show. Like, they did a cliffhanger, they're planning on doing a season two for the show. Um, and then the dolls, it was like, we got our main line with the main characters, and we got Aura and Mora for extra couple doll characters. And then we had like the winter line with the winter mermaids and whatever. And then there was gonna be like at least like one or two other doll lines. The one that I can remember we were gonna get was gonna be like a slumber kind of doll line. So I guess, slumber party kind of thing. But then nothing came of that. We haven't seen that for the last however long. Like we kind of got like some like, oh hey, here's what it's called. Like we know what the next doll line is going to be about, but then we see nothing for the next however long. And we haven't seen anything posted on like Instagram or anything either. So it's kind of just like, where the fuck are you guys? You haven't posted anything. You haven't, released the Slumber Party doll line. You haven't posted anything on Instagram. I guess YouTube, it's kind of like, with YouTube, it's kind of like they can only, I guess, do so much for YouTube because they're mostly posting like webisode stuff, their episodes and stuff, and that's kind of it, I guess, for the YouTube channel. I guess that's the main purpose of that, and that's it. But for like, I don't know, Instagram, it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe give people sneak peeks of what's coming next of like doll lines or something. Like we already know that the next one is gonna be like a slumber party one, or it was going to be a slumber party one, so we already know the name of it. So maybe you could tease something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of like, a lot of people were kind of like, what the hell? And I didn't really notice this as much. Like, I kind of was like, the first season's over, whatever. Um, and then all of a sudden I saw that Peachy Reviews posted something about it. Like, she posted a YouTube video and she posted whatever stuff on her Instagram, being like, hey, what the hell is going on with Mermaze Mermaidz, and like, is it canceled or whatever? And I was like, oh my god, you're right. Like, I didn't even think about, really like, oh, they're not posting. Like, is it over? Like, I didn't really think about it. I kind of just like, forgot about it and whatever. And then all of a sudden, I see her post, and I'm just like, wait, what the fuck? I haven't seen anything. So I went and watched her video, and I went to like Instagram and stuff and saw like people posting comments under the Mermaze Mermaidz posts and being like, please don't be canceled, like, all this. Like they're saying, please don't be over, I want the next whatever. And also, like, they left off on a cliffhanger, so you can't end it there. We need to see what's happening next. We need to know who's doing all this stuff in the show. And some people are like, oh, like the dolls and stuff and whatever, and how they got like every single doll in the whatever line and stuff like that. And so yeah, a lot of people are like in the comments of they haven't posted since like November 21st of last year of 2022. So people are going to that post that the last post that they made, and we're like saying all that stuff. And so it's kind of just like, it's been a few months. It's, they just posted on November 21st and then dipped, I guess. They just we're like, bye. You're not gonna hear from us for however long. So it's kind of just like a lot of people are worried. Um, but it's kind of like with the dolls specifically, the dolls are the main thing that they're trying to whatever. Like I don't think they're gonna continue doing stuff with the TV show if the dolls aren't making money. If the dolls aren't being sold, people are probably not really gonna whatever. Um, and then they're gonna be like, we're not gonna make anything for the TV show if the dolls aren't being made, because then what's the point? You know, what's the point of doing a TV show if your dolls aren't making any money? So there's that. And I think the reason for like the dolls and stuff, for one thing, they don't have a removable tail. They can't switch between legs and tails, which I mean, for the dolls in the TV show, I mean, like in the TV show, they have never gone to like non-water areas, so they're always mermaids. They never, go from tail to legs or legs to tail or anything. So, I guess it wouldn't really make sense if you could make them have legs. So, just going off of like TV show stuff, then, there's that. But also, it's kind of like people kind of want to be able to switch from mermaid to human. Like, that's why some, Barbie stuff with like Barbie mermaids, like they'll have it so you can switch between legs and tail. Mermaid High did that where you can switch between legs and tail because in the TV show of Mermaid High, they did switch between legs and tail in the actual show. But with mermaids, it's kind of they're just mermaids, so I don't know, but that's one thing of why people kind of whatever with this. Also, their tail is very specific to their character, so it's kind of like I guess for customizing, it's a little weird. So it's kind of limited for that. Um, which I guess you could kind of like repaint the tail, but also it's still gonna have like the same like mold thing. So I don't know, but for customizing, it's kind of I guess difficult for them. I'm sure a customizer would want to go for a different doll. Um, and then I mean, for kids for playing with them, it's kind of like I don't know. I feel like kids also would want to be able to switch between mermaid and human and kind of do the gotta keep my mermaid side a secret thing. That cliche trope that you see in every single mermaid show and mermaid movie. H2O just out of water kind of made that a massive thing. And then Mermaid High also followed that, where it's like, oh, keep our mermaid side a secret. So, kids would probably want to do that. Um, but I mean, I saw customizers be like, oh, you can just take the head off of the doll and put it on a different body. And, like, there you go, you get legs. So, I don't know, for that purpose, I guess, it's a little weird. Um, but also, I saw some people say that, like, the way that they look with, like, the face and everything, they look too realistic, so it's kind of uncanny. So they don't like them because they look too realistic and it's, like, kind of scary, kind of creepy, which I get that. That's completely understandable. I think it's like, their eyes are, in their head, and I don't, are they glass eyes? I don't know if they're glass eyes. I guess if you know, then you can say in the comments if they have glass eyes or if it's just some other thing that resembles glass. I think maybe I saw someone say they were glass, but I don't really remember, so I'm not an expert on what materials, whatever. I'm pretty sure dolls have used glass eyes before, but I don't know if they still do that, if that's still a prominent thing that dolls makers do. Um, like their eyes look super realistic with like the way that they're like painted or whatever, whatever they did for the eyes to make them look super realistic. Like it's looks realistic with the eyes, and then the makeup, the way they painted their face is really realistic. So yeah, I get people don't like it for that, and the mouth and stuff. yeah, it looks kind of realistic. Also, the hands. When I got Rivera, I looked at her hands, and their hands are like squishy, and like you can kind of bend them a little. I don't really know exactly how to explain it, but if you have one, then like you can kind of move the hand a little bit. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's kind of like, I don't think it's silicone, is it? I don't know if they'd use silicone for it, but it's kind of like squishy, movable, whatever, so it seems a little more real, and I was like, oh my god. Like when I took her out of the box and I squished her hand a little, I like, poked her hand and like bent it a little, and I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? I was not expecting it. Like it was so like weird. Like when I took Rivera out of the box, and I was just like, you can move the hand. I didn't really like it at first, but I mean, it's fine, I guess, once you get used to it. I also got a Mora doll because, being able to make her look different, and like her makeup changes when you put her in the water and stuff. And I mean, the water changing thing is, I guess, mostly for kids. If, I'm sure a lot of kids would like that part. I don't know if, customizers would really care about the color change thing with like the makeup and the tail and stuff. So, that's kind of another thing where it's like, I'm sure only kids really care about it, like, or mostly kids care about it. Some adults might care about it, but I don't know. I'm sure a lot of adults are collectors and are just gonna have their dolls sit on the shelf or on a table or something and whatever. And, not really whatever with the color thing, but, it's kind of just like, you know, whatever. But yeah, also with the hands, I looked at Rivera's hands, and she has a little like, I don't know if like, cause dimples are usually used for the indents that happen on your face and not on your hands, but like she has those little like indents on her hands where where your knuckles are, where your fingers meet the rest of your hand, and you have those little indents in between the knuckles there for your fingers. And so I saw that where it's like a little indent thing. If you just move your hand a little and it's like you kind of put it in a certain position, and then you can see the little indents in between your fingers, in between the knuckles on your hand. You can see the little indents. Also, if you have a doll yourself, you can kind of look at their hand and see what I mean. Um, and it's kind of like, it makes it look more realistic. It's so it just adds to the thing of like uncanny, like they're not human, but they look kind of human, and a lot of people don't like that. So that's kind of, you know, it's just human, whatever. Of like, we don't like shit like that usually. So, that's it's kind of like a few things here and there where people don't really like, and so that could be part of the reason of why the dolls aren't being bought as much as other stuff. What was the other thing? I keep forgetting what I'm gonna say, and then whatever. Also, okay, I remembered what I was gonna say. The tails don't really like move at all. Like it's just one solid piece. The only part that moves is at the waist part where the torso and the tail meet. You can move that, and then the end of the tail where it's the fin part, you can move that, and you can't move like at the knee or anything. You can't move anything else. It's not like, I wish for mermaid dolls that had it where the tail was one connected to the doll and you can't remove it. I wish they would have it so like you could move the tail like it's a snake kind of thing. If anyone remembers those toys, I don't know if they still make them, but when I was a kid, we had these snake toys where they were wooden and you could actually move them like a snake, and they looked, kind of cool when you moved them around. But they were like made in such a way where it, each thing was its own whatever, kind of like a spine. You know, if I'm sure everyone knows what a spine looks like, but it was kind of like that where it would like curve and move and whatever, kind of like that. And so if you had one, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. They were wooden and they were painted stripes on them, and yeah, I maybe if I can find a picture, I can show one or something. I don't know, but maybe if it was kind of like that, then you know, people might want them more. I don't know if you can. I mean, with plastic, I'm sure you could do it, but maybe it's just they would break easily if you did it like that. Because I'm pretty sure when we had those snake toys, they did break at some point, or at least one of them broke at some point because they were just wood, and those little connected pieces where they're connected, like it's probably pretty easy to break if you're like super crazy with it and like moving it around a shit ton and whatever. And so, maybe that's why they wouldn't want to do something like that. But, you know, I don't know. I feel like if they did something like that, people might be more open to doing it or like getting it all like this. But I don't know. I'm just kind of like, is it gonna get canceled? We don't really know for sure right now. We're just gonna have to wait and see if any news comes out of them continuing or if they are going to announce that it's canceled. And so, yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see what is going on here. Hopefully, it's not canceled. A lot of people are hoping it's not canceled because we did leave off on a cliffhanger, and a lot of people do actually, love the dolls, even though some people don't like them for the uncanny stuff and for other reasons. Um, but I mean, I don't know. But the only dolls I have is Rivera and Mora. I didn't really whatever with the other dolls, but other people were saying that they got all of those dolls. So I don't know. Hopefully they don't cancel it. Hopefully they're just kind of taking a break. But I don't know. I guess if you were trying to like sell a product, then you wouldn't really just stop posting about it, right? That just seems kind of weird. So, I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Who knows? But it's not really looking good so far. We're just kind of worried that it's gonna get shelved or whatever, taken out. It's not gonna be a thing anymore. But hopefully we're wrong and we're worried for nothing. So, yeah. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. And yeah, so I guess that's it. So, bye.